Yo! Hello everyone. I know it's been a while since my last video. If you notice, my shirt is fluttering, and that's because I have the fan on, which is out of frame. It's been fairly humid. Today it rained pretty heavy, like an hour ago. I just have the window open. But yeah, I'm back. And what has been happening on my end? Well, I'm in the process of directing a music video. It's like a music video slash commercial, starring a local celebrity. Yeah, I'll be shooting a music video at the end of this month. And yeah, more on that on future episodes. For those of you who haven't been following my channel or on my socials, I have an ebook, the only book you'll need to become a commercial film director. And yeah, it's only $5 and you can purchase that on my website at aswahan.com, or you can go to Amazon, um, Kobo, Payhip, or Gumroad. So there's many options, and yeah, it's great for those of you who are curious as to how to get into the industry, or those of for those young directors out there who who just want to progress, and yeah, just want to, or how I got to where I am today. So yeah, there's a lot of helpful tips, a lot of helpful information, a lot of my own experiences as a commercial film director. So yeah, get yours today. It's only $5. It will open doors, and it's something that I wish I had when I started off in this industry. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't know about, which I wish I knew, and yeah, it's all in this book. And to follow that, I'm actually in the process of writing a second book. So I guess it's not the only book you'll need to become a commercial film director. But yeah, I'll be doing a follow-up ebook, which will be a lot more in depth. And yeah, look out for that. I think it's going to be even better than my current ebook. But don't let that stop you. $5. It outlines all the things that you need to become a commercial film director, or how to start off as a commercial film director. Yeah, I've just been on this whole ebook, I guess, tirade. I've also created a storyboard kind of notebook, which is also available on Amazon, and that's like a hard. So there's a hardcover and there's a paperback version. Links will be down in the description below. No, before I continue on with today's topic, yeah, I received a comment uh, from one of you viewers saying, "Oh, so basically they gave me feedback saying, oh, your audio is terrible, or this is, so on and so forth." And yeah, I plan to fix those things up. And so yeah, feel free to comment and let me know how I can improve this channel, or what bugs you, or what kind of things um would make this things would make these episodes easier to view, or yeah, or how I can make it better, because yeah, I'm kind of new to this whole YouTube thing. Yeah, so feedback is really, really helpful. Yeah, I'm good at making commercials, but not, ironically, I'm not great at making YouTube videos. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And before I start, and this is kind of related to what I'll be talking about. Also, you can become a Patreon member, and yeah, you can get all sorts of exclusive access to content, and also you can ask me questions, and I'll yeah, whenever I receive your questions, I'll reply back to him. And yeah, I had one member asking me about treatments and stuff, and yeah, can you help me with treatments, or can you clear this up? I'm not quite sure of how things are, because I'm transitioning from a DP to a director, and yeah, I was happy to help him. And so I'm happy to help you guys. Just become a member, and yeah, it's only starts from $1 to $5, and the $5 tier will give you access to the ebook for free. So win-win. I mean, the book itself is $5, but if you become a Patreon member and choose the $5 option, you get the ebook plus you get the exclusive content. So yeah, win-win situation. So okay, let's start from beginning because maybe there are some of you who don't know what a treatment is. Yeah, so treatments are like proposals. So you put your ideas down, not just in writing, but you also have some visual references, etc. And then once you put together a treatment, then you hand that off to the agency, and then the agency and the client will have a look at it. And amongst the other directors who also have to hand in the treatment, they will choose which one they think matches best with their vision or their message for the commercial or for the spot. This same this method also applies to music videos, even with movies as well. Like movies, you have to put together like a proposal, like a deck, and outline what your story is and etc etc. But anyway, yeah, treatments are basically proposals that you put together. So usually I use Keynote, and you know it varies. It can be from several pages to like I've done treatments that have gone up to like 60 pages. It depends. It depends on the project. Every project is different. And so some projects require more explanation because, for example, there might be a project where it involves a lot of technical stuff like special effects, so on and so forth. And sometimes the agency and client want to know your approach as to how you'll tackle this so-called issue, or because it's technical, how will you be? Can you hear that? With treatments, usually when after you have a brief, so usually you have a brief with the agency, so the agency will explain to you the outline and the expectations of that particular project, and then from then you put together the treatment. Now with treatments, because we're in the creative field, because we're doing commercials, it's more of a visual medium. Not only do you have to explain your ideas in words, but you need to visually show your ideas. The hardest part for me anyway, for me, and I think in most cases, like I would say with most directors, is finding visual references. It takes forever. Like putting putting your ideas in words is the easiest part. Finding the right references is the hard part, because you might, for example, you receive the brief and then you have this visual in your mind, and then you have to try and find references that match that visual. And sometimes you might have to find something really specific. So, for example, um, let's say the spot is of a family, so it's mother, father, and a daughter, and the commercial's about some air conditioner. Some perhaps the scenario is that the air conditioner also is some kind of air filter. In this scenario, maybe the air is dirty and such, and then you need to show that this device cleans the air, etc. And then the families, at first they're all coughing and oh, the air is so dirty. And then once they turn on the air conditioner with this feature, then we see that the air clears out, and then you see a happy family and so on and so forth. Now, to find that visual reference, okay, how can I find a video reference that has a family that has kind of like a smoggy-ish kind of look to it, you know, then finding that reference can be quite difficult. Now, Sure, it's easy to find still images, but then finding video references is even more difficult. How do I approach this? Now, I use still images as well, but I also try to find video references. And there are a few sites out there. Like I think there's one called Source Creative, and then there are others. I don't have them on top of my head. I don't use them, that's why. But the thing is, there's a subscription fee for them, so you got to pay like a monthly fee. The only problem that I found with them is that most of their visual references come from actual movies, from films. And I find that, especially for commercials, um, the video references I find that are more effective are the ones that are from actual commercials. In this case, I mean, what I do is, um, yeah, I go through Vimeo, I go through YouTube. Over time, I've collected, like, I've saved and categorized these commercials. On top of that, I use Instagram as well. Instagram's a really good one where I save, and then so when I see a video, I'll be like, hey, this could be a cool reference for a future project. Like, especially like when it comes to transitions, like there are a lot of projects where clients want to see a specific transition from one scene to the next. Then I have a category in my Instagram where I have all these seamless transitions, and it's good when I put together a treatment. So in the case of when I want to transition from a man screaming, and then the camera zooms into his eye, and then the camera zooms out, and we see him, he's behind the wheel, you know, as an example. Then yeah, so I just have a category for everything I can think of, both on Instagram and on my web browser. I have to say also, like, especially in Asia where I'm at, when where most of my spots, or the spots that I direct here, most of the talents are Asian, and so I feel that it helps the that the visual references are also Asian. So yeah, so I get a lot of references from works from Thailand, from Korea, from yeah, all Asian countries. And it's just that that way the agency and client can identify with the can better identify with their spot. Nothing to do with race or anything, but you know what I mean. You know, if the spot is for Asia, let's say here I'm in Vietnam, then for them, they can better visualize that, okay, this is an Asian family. Yes, I can picture this scene for this project. Then say for example, if you had a European family, then it kind of, I would say kind of yeah, I think they kind of there's a slight disconnect with what they had in mind. Like even though the reference is there, I feel that there'd be some kind of disconnect. So I mean, in some instances where I can't find that specific reference, then I would use, you know, like some European or, you know, Indian or whatever. Um, but in most cases, especially if the product and and the setting is, let's say, in Asia, then I will try and find references where the talents are Asian. Yeah, when it comes to references, it could take me 2, 3 days to just look through countless commercials. Like especially on my web browser, I've just got a whole library just full of references. And but sometimes, you know, there are those treatments where it's very specific, or maybe something I had in my head was very specific, or maybe there are cases where I would look at the brief and I'm like, oh, I know exactly which commercial to use, but then I don't know like where I saw this commercial, even though I might have saved it in my library. Sometimes it takes me, yeah, sometimes I haven't categorized it properly, maybe. I don't know, but it has happened, and maybe there's a better way around it. However, yeah, finding visual references is really tough, I'd say. Especially in Asia. So for example, I've done treatments for like Western clients or European clients, and they don't rely as much on the exact visual, if you know what I mean. Like I found that a lot of the Western or European directors, they would just use still images to reflect on their idea, while in Asia, the agency and clients really want to know like what your idea is, like really deep, deep, like not deep, deep, but um, they almost want you to spell it out for them, How is it actually gonna look? How are the people gonna move? So here, especially, it's a bit more in depth, more in detail, because they really want to know how this spot's gonna look like, and just showing still images sometimes is not enough. When it comes to still images, now, yeah, I use Pinterest a lot. Pinterest is really good, really, really good source because you'll type something and then you just skim through the images, and then you might find one that is very close to your vision. And once you click that, then it'll give you a whole gallery full of similar visuals. And yeah, so Pinterest is a really good one, which I use. Also, especially for these days, I think AI is really good. So if you have Midjourney, I think Midjourney can be a really good source as well, because you can basically create the the visual idea that's in your head and create it in Midjourney. And I found Midjourney to be extremely useful. But then again, it's not video. The drawback, although I see with AI, is that there's a certain look to AI, like the visual. Like there's something about it, something artificial about it. Like no matter how nice or beautiful the visual is, like most people can pinpoint that it's created in Midjourney or with AI. And so there's that. And maybe I don't know, maybe the agencies or even perhaps the clients could answer this, but they would probably look at the visual reference and be like, the first thing that come to their mind is more like, oh, this is created in AI, I can tell. And then that kind of, I don't know. But yeah, I think AI is cool. It's just that I feel it just has a certain look to it that bothers me. Might not bother them or you, but yeah, try it out. I haven't done too much AI stuff, but I found that it could be really useful when you have a specific visual in mind and there's nothing out there, and so you create it. You get AI to create it for you. I use visual references also for the layout of my treatments. So for example, like the background, I don't just use like a black or a white backdrop. I would try to use some visual image that that represents or you know that represents my idea, just to give my treatment some sort of theme. I use a lot of visual treatments for my treatments, and especially when it's like, yeah, for example, if it's 60 pages and I need some kind of background for the 60 pages, then I would need a lot. So yeah, Pinterest I found is the most useful, and I found that AI can be like Midjourney. I haven't used the others, like Stable Diffusion and stuff, but I have played around with Midjourney and it's pretty cool. I also found that generative fill in Photoshop's really cool because sometimes you might find a visual reference on Pinterest or wherever, and sometimes it's in portrait mode and your treatment is in landscape, and so you can use generative fill to make that portrait into a landscape by filling in the blanks, you know. And I've done that with past treatments and it looks seamless, looks amazing. Yeah, so references. Let me know if you have any other sources of where you get your references. Let me know. Share in the comments down below. I mean, um, yeah, that'll help a lot. Video references as well and stuff like not just from movies, but it'll be cool. Like I'm pretty sure Source Creative or Creative Source, I think it's called. It's a library of video references from both movies and commercials, from my understanding. Let me know how you get your visual references because that's something that I spend way too much time. And yeah, the writing part is easy, and the writing part has become even easier with AI. Like, you know, like with me, I write down all my ideas and stuff. Like I write all my treatments, but then I polish it up, you know. I don't really use ChatGPT, but I use like Quillbot, or I think some people use Grammarly just to polish it up. So again, leave your comments if you have any ideas on where you get your visual references. So yeah, please follow me on my socials, especially on Instagram, Aswa_Han. Become a Patreon member, like I mentioned earlier. It's only $5 for the top tier, and you get my ebook. Get my ebook as well. It's on Amazon, Gumroad, and other sites. So again, that's also $5. It's the only book you'll need to become a commercial film director. And so in the meantime, hopefully in the next few episodes, I could talk a bit more about my project, the music video project that I'm doing. I'm also doing a passion project and it's almost done, but I need to collect some. I need to get more funds for that. So if you guys can help out, you can go visit my website, aswahan.com. There's a donate button, and yeah, you can help out, and that money goes into my passion project. So yeah, until then, I'll see you in the next episode.